Esoteric Astrology Podcast presents Mysteries of the Zodiac, Eos, Goddess of the Sunrise, and the First House in Astrology. Astrology has a context problem. Greek sky mythology is never taught along with basic Hellenistic astrological fundamentals. This mythology holds a cipher to another layer of content. It literally unlocks the zodiac's true meanings. My goal is to add context that is missing, never provided by ancient astrology texts or modern teachers. We must go to root mythological concepts to retrieve this desperately needed context. In my book, Venus in Virgo, Archetypes of Goddess Consciousness in Astrology, I make the case that the seventh house of the natural zodiac, the sign of Libra, is where Persephone emerges into the underworld, stolen by Hades. She marries the god of the underworld and becomes queen, and stays in the underworld for half the year. In Greek mythology, we will find the mythological narrative content that goes with this descent into the underworld and emergence with Hades when we look at the western Isle of Hesperides. We will find the tree of golden apples that Gaia gives to Hera when she marries Zeus, the same apples that Heracles, whose name means glory of Hera, steals as a part of his 12 labors. We will find the dragon or serpent that Heracles slays. We will find that Demeter weeps here, creating the Via Combusta. It also follows that when we look at the mythology of the sunrise, we will find something that corresponds to and mirrors this story of Persephone. The goddess who represents the sunrise is known by the Greeks as Eos. This is the mythology of the first house. The upcoming quotes are sourced from theoi.com. Eos, whom Aphrodite tormented with constant passion as punishment for sleeping with Ares, fell in love with Orion and took him off with her to Delos. That is from Pseudo Apollodorus, Bibliographa L27, translated by Aldrich, the Greek mythographer from the 2nd century of the Common Era. Now, Eos, in love with Tithonus, kidnapped him and took him to Ethiopia, and there, after intercourse with him, she gave birth to sons Emathion and Memnon. That is from Pseudo Apollodorus, Bibliotheca 3, 127, translated by Aldrich, Greek mythographer from the 2nd century of the Common Era. And to Cephalus, she, Eos, bared a splendid son, strong Phaethon, a man like the gods, whom, when he was a young boy in the tender flower of glorious youth, with childish thoughts, laughter-loving Aphrodite seized and caught up, and made a keeper of her shrine by night, a divine spirit. From Hesiod, Theogony 984 FF, translated by Evelyn White, Greek epic in the 8th or the 7th century BCE. Mantius, the son of the seer Melampos, he begot Polyphides and Cleitus, but Eos, of the golden robe, snatched Cleitos away for his beauty's sake, to dwell with the deathless ones. From Homer, Odyssey 15, 250 FF, translated by Shuring, the Greek epic from the 8th century BCE. The pattern is quite clear. The goddess Eos of the sunrise is kidnapping young, beautiful men and ruining their relationships with mortal women. The inversion is clear. At the sunset, Hades abducts the Chloe, the virginal Persephone. She is the fruit of the fertile year. When she is picking psychoactive plants with her maidens or maenads. At the sunrise, Eos steals young men out of their committed relationships. These men are the fruit of the masculine year. Returning to our basic house structure, the seventh house, metaphorically the sunset, is where Persephone enters the underworld in our natural zodiac. She's entering the infertile season, Libra through Pisces. In our ritual drama, this is where Persephone encounters Hades, the masculine realm of contracts, laws, philosophy, governing, ideals, abstract structures that contain or regulate our behavior and create consequence for transgression. In the first house, metaphorically our sunrise, is the doorway to the realm of the goddess, represented by Eos. In the natural zodiac, this is the signs of Aries through Virgo, houses 1 through 6. Eos is ruled entirely by desire, and there appears to be no consequence for her transgression against the males whom she abducts, as she is divine and represents this wild archetypal female sexuality. Looking at this in a larger context, we can see that the life force itself is abducted into the seventh house, the sunset. Its form upon entry is feminine, wild and innocent, like Persephone. Prior to abduction, she was following the rules of the goddess, the Earth Mother, for 6 months. It is the primordial feminine entering into the realm of contracts and power, where it is transformed. She gains power but loses quote-unquote innocence, which is an innocence of mind and not of deed. The life force enters the first house, the sunrise, in a masculinized way. It has been following a rules-based and rational paradigm in the realm of the sky god. The life force here is depicted as a male in the form of Cephalus, Orion, Tithonus, and Clytus et al., who are all abducted by a goddess who is ruled by libido, destroying the contracts and agreements made in the masculine world. Persephone, now male, enters this goddess-dominated world in the sign of Aries. The sun is exalted in the form of Eos. She is rising, as is the rising god, played by Mars in our ritual drama, the ruler of Aries. Hades, played by Saturn in the ritual drama of the Zodiac, brought Persephone into the underworld in Libra and entered her into a contractual agreement, marriage. Mars in Aries, by contrast, is not the marrying type. Saturn is in fall in Aries. His contracts are now irrelevant. As for Venus, who plays the role of Persephone in our ritual drama, she is in exile or in detriment in Aries, according to traditional astrology. She is masculinized. She is inverted, in a manner of speaking, in Aries with a masculine libido.